In reporter Ajay's eyes, Martin's speech was like a performance trying to sculpt his public image. Ajay had a hunch something was fishy and decided to kick off a detective show. He started flirting with Martin's intern to score some files on the case perfect spy move. After a deep dive, he hit the jackpot. The next day, Ajay burst into the editor's office, excitedly claiming he had a headline story that could make Martin. Not long ago, Martin often lost cases, but suddenly won 17 in a row like playing a video game. This wasn't just luck. Ajay suspected Martin was pulling tricks behind the scenes. Seeing the editor's disbelief, he whipped out the case files for a murdered girl. The police found 0 clues at the crime scene. They only found a cigarette butt, and why would a culprit leave behind such an obvious clue? Just as the editor was about to interject, Ajay then played the video, pointing out how Officer Anthony passed the suspect to smoke during questioning, and Ajay figured that's how they snagged the DNA. Officer Anthony, Martin's accomplice, slyly plants DNA laced but had seen a classic double cross. Facing Ajay's theory, the editor challenged him, clearly not accepting it, and demanded that Ajay answer a simple and clear question. Crime scene photos were taken that day, but questioning later, Ajay was speechless. If the cigarette was a forgery by Officer Anthony, how could he place it on site before the photos were shot? Is he a time traveler now? Faced with this question, the editor was skeptical, leading to Ajay getting a lecture before he stormed out. Chastised by the editor, Ajay left but didn't give up. He hunted for a career-changing scoop. At this moment, he was brewing a risky plan, one he couldn't share with anyone, not even his new girlfriend, Ella. In just days, Ella was smitten with Ajay. Ambitious men truly have charm. Ajay was just a small journalist, snapping elephants at the zoo 6 months ago. Until interviewing Talisha, a 15-year-old impregnated by her stepfather with a sad tale, and her mother tossed her out into the cold winter. Talisha was left to fend for herself in the snowy streets. After losing her child, her hope faded away, and she sadly died of an overdose. Ajay's report made headlines. This scoop propelled her to become a highly recognized star reporter at a downtown TV station. After watching the footage, Ella sympathized with Talisha and realized her boyfriend was a man of justice. She told Ajay she'd support him no matter what. Those words fueled his determination to investigate further. She devised a wild plan to go undercover to expose the prosecutor's crimes bold and crazy. She would wait for the next murder case to play the culprit. When Martin convicted her with fake evidence, she flipped, claiming it was just for the script. If all went well, she could expose Martin's dark side and snag the Pulitzer Prize in one go. After consulting Finley, she only needed to wait for the next murder to unfold quietly. A few days later, at precisely 4 a.m. in the early morning, Finley knocked on Ajay's door, leaving Ajay utterly baffled. What possible reason could there be for waking him up at such an hour? The unfolding of this incident felt like the climax of a movie, leaving everyone guessing. Little did he know, the next act was about to unfold. Ajay felt sparks were about to fly. The scene was filled with cars, and Officer Meth, handling the case, knew Ajay. Ajay could gather case details from her, just standard reporter fare, and Officer Meth didn't think much of it. According to the police, the victim was a prostitute in her 30s, with 4 stab wounds on her chest and neck. Nearby residents claimed that in reality her dog was the first to hear it and ran out, biting the culprit. Police had better pay attention. The footprints indicated the culprit wore Italian Montevore sneakers. Ajay kept asking to uncover all the details of the crime. The next day, they kicked off a shopping spree, starting with buying a camcorder to film the entire process of forging evidence. If the prosecutor presents fake evidence, Ajay can clear his mastermind name. They bought a spring knife, some defensive sprays, and a dark outfit similar to what the culprit wore that night. The hardest to acquire Montevore sneakers can surprisingly be effortlessly found online. Easy peasy indeed. With all that prepped, the only detail left was the bite mark on the culprit's leg, so they made a trip to the Animal Protection Association. Keep an eye on this detail. They snapped pictures with a newspaper in hand for proof, freshly printed that morning. This could prove everything they did happened after the murder. Back home, Ajay was playfully teasing a hunting dog, ready to roll. He put on his pre-prepared clothes and shoes, went to the outskirts, and simulated the entire crime process carried out by the murderer that night. It was absolutely crucial. This time, the reality was just as comical as Doug's sonorous adventure, leaving everyone in stitches. Ajay drank in the car, then intentionally sped up to catch the patrol's attention. He was smoothly escorted back. Officer Smith caught a glimpse of the Montavo sneakers on his feet, a boutique brand that raised immediate suspicion. Although Ajay was bailed out, Officer Smith privately investigated, and soon police barged in with a warrant. They found masks, dog sportswear in the bedroom, and a bite mark on his left leg. Shocking. With evidence in sight, Officer Smith arrested Ajay, but then Officer Anthony sneaked back. What a twist.